what do you think about Bitcoin gold pair trading? At Bitcoin all-time high, you would have exchanged for 38 ounces of gold. So that is 1 Bitcoin you would have exchanged for 38 ounces of gold, and that today would be worth $73,625. Not bad for taking profits in gold instead of US dollars. Suggestions? This is very selfish of me, but the reason I work all weekends preparing answers to these questions is because they're brilliant, and I learn from them too. And I did a lot of modeling around this. So let's look at, first of all, a couple of things you need to know about pair trading. And this is the correlation with gold. And according to a study by Keiko, the correlation between Bitcoin and gold is approximately 50%. That means half the time it's correlated, half the time it's not. That means 50% of the time the two assets moved in the same direction, half the time they don't. However, the correlation has been lower in certain periods. For example, the correlation was only 10% in June 2022. So you got to watch the correlation when you're trading these pairs. Second thing that's very important is co-integration. And the reason this is important is everything that is co-integrated reverts around the mean, which means it goes back. And Bitcoin and gold, there was a deep co-integration analysis done by Garcia et al. In 2018. And the paper examined the relationship between Bitcoin and gold using co-integration analysis. And again, it's a statistical technique that tests whether two or more items in a time series are related in the long run. And the authors found that Bitcoin and gold are co-integrated, which means they have a long-term relationship, which means, yes, you can pair trade them. So check. Let's look at some charts. Let's look at zooming out Bitcoin and gold. And here you see the whole history. Now, first of all, Bitcoin over the last 6 years has done 6,000% better than gold. That's the first thing you need to realize. Bitcoin has performed, or gold has performed really badly over the last 11 years. And in fact, over the last 10 years, it's only gone up 5%. And if you look at the debasement of money, the half-life of money over a decade is basically half. It's a little bit over half right now because of money printing. That means $1,000 10 years from now is worth 500. Gold 10 years ago is only 5% higher. So you're losing your shirt on gold. But there are times when it is possible to do this. So let's look at this. Is the Bitcoin divided by gold chart. Again, it's based in US dollar ounces. In the US, they have this weird measurement. It's prehistoric. I think the dinosaurs used it to carry weight and stuff, ounces and pounds. But that is, the 38 ounce was the top, and that's about 1.1 kilograms of gold per Bitcoin. And now we are trading at around 16, but we went as low as about 9.5. So people are always thinking about, how do I think in terms of pairs? Beautiful example right here. Do you want 1.1 kilos of gold for your Bitcoin, or do you want a tenth of a kilo? Was that 100 grams or something? Yes, I think so. So let's look at the layers by which you can swap. And what we're going to do here is we're going to look at a product and look at the history of the actual pair trading opportunities that we could have. And if you have a big bag of Bitcoin, maybe instead of layering out, as we practice here in this channel, into gold or into cash, you can layer out into gold. So here are some of the layers per the layer out model, which works across, of course, for pairs and everything else, FX, you name it. But here, one of the first layers, we would have taken profit, maybe 20% of our bag or a fifth of our supply or whatever, would be 14 ounces. Second layer, 17 ounces. Third layer, 21 ounces. Fourth layer, 25 ounces. And the fifth and final layer, 28 ounces. And then you're out of the position. But it gets better. Let me show you another little trick that is fantastic. What you can do is also swap between, this is the whole pair trading thing, at layers, telling you when to get in, when to get out. So I put together a little illustration for you. So at the very bottom on the left-hand side of the chart here, this is the layer. It's about 14.2. This is where you sell gold for Bitcoin. You could have done this in April 2022. Then you sell Bitcoin for gold about 3 weeks later. Then you sell gold for Bitcoin about 3 weeks later. Then about 2 weeks later, you sell Bitcoin for gold. And on and on and on and on. So you could have swapped in and out and use the layers and the trend to flip between the assets. Right now, we're in a bit of an exponential run up. The big fat blue line is the kind of what I call a rampage. So this means hold. You don't swap back until the trend flips. But that's the discipline that we're trying to impart here in this channel. How to pair trade, using layers, using tools, using discipline. And that was a brilliant question. I really was excited about that one. So thank you for that.